Howdy y'all, this is a Smith Sons Mudbug. Inside this unassuming retro cardboard box is the Mudbug. So we'll have a look at it in a sec. Just want to show you the box, kind of nice. It's got a sticker on the back denoting what's inside, natural canvas micarta. Cool funny little slogan, never a dull moment. Except with me, all my knives are dull. I'm really rubbish at sharpening. I need to get on that. Smith Sons is a USA company, and they're proud to say that they're made in the USA, and they're made in Sulphur, Louisiana. Okay, let's open up the box. Inside we've got this sort of rust resistant paper and the knife, and just in the bottom of the box there's the Smith Sons card with the contact details and a little bit of blurb. That's cool. So this is the knife. Now this is in natural micarta, so it's dark natural linen micarta, and if we take a close-up look at it, it's a really nice micarta. It's quite smooth, it's not rough at all, the edges are nicely curved, just enough. It's nice. It's a nice tactile micarta. So this is a Sodbuster, and it's based on the GEC 71 Sodbuster, the bullnose. I'm just going to bring that out to show you, and if I put them side by side, you'll see that they are identical except for the size. So it is the same pattern, and that's not a coincidence. The Mudbug, Smith & Sons, is actually made by GEC, Great Eastern Cutlery. So the company that makes the 71 bullnose actually makes the Mudbug. So that's why it's the same. Now it is the same except for one significant detail, and that is that the GEC 71 is a slip joint, the Mudbug is a lockback. So whereas the GEC has a half stop and then no lock when it's open, just folds closed, the Mudbug has no half stop, but it has a lockback. So when it's open, it doesn't close on itself. And there's no play there, it's absolutely rock solid. The way to close it is to push the lock at the back, and you can see it releases the blade here, and then just fold it closed. And it's really good and sturdy. And I like the fact that doesn't have a half stop, because it's such a big blade. It just feels like that would be a pain. If it stopped there, then you've got to move it again. I know I'm opening it, I just want it open. So the lack of half stop is good. Let's talk about the steel, shall we? The steel on this, as with all of the GEC Sodbusters, of late, because they used to use different steel in the olden days, but nowadays they use a 1095 steel, which has a high carbon content, which means that it does rust. So it does require a little bit of care. So when I say a bit of care, it's just a case of wiping the blade down after use, and then just a little bit of oil. I use this for food prep, so I would just put a bit of vegetable oil on, and I try and get the vegetable oil into all of the liner and the spring and into here as well, because that's prone to rusting if you're not careful. Now you can see that the blade has already developed a bit of patina, and that's just from cutting fruit and vegetables. I mean, I have cut some more significant things with it, but that hasn't caused the patina. It's the acids in the fruits and vegetables that cause the patina, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. I like to use my knives, and I don't mind the patina to to prove it. On the other side of the blade, we've got the Smith Sons USA stamp. Now, personally, I suppose it is a Smith Sons knife. It's a little bit disingenuous, don't you think? It's a GEC made knife, but it's branded Smith Sons. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The bird's eye pivot is stainless steel. The pin is brass and the lanyard tube is brass. The spring and the liners are steel, presumably 1095 steel as well. And on the GEC Sodbuster, the pivot is branded F&F Farm and Field USA with 2 little stars. The Smith Sons Mudbug doesn't have any branding on the pivot. I'll just measure it for you and you can see that it's quite a big chunky knife. So closed length, it's 11.6 centimetres. From when it's fully open, I think it's going to be longer than my ruler. Yeah, it's 20, I think it's about 21 centimetres I would say. The blade thickness is a healthy 3 millimetres. Obviously it tapers at the tip. And the handle thickness is 11 millimetres. Now I've noticed that the micarta scales are a little thinner on the Mudbug than on the 71. Can you make out the difference there? There's definitely a different thickness to the scales, which is actually very sensible because this is such a large knife. If the scales were as thick as on the 71, it would make it really quite a chunky beast, whereas it's actually quite slim and it sits in the pocket really well. Add a lanyard, and it sits in the pocket with the lanyard sticking out of your pocket. It's absolutely fantastic for working in the outside. Just grab the lanyard and the knife comes, whack it open, cut what you need to cut. It's absolutely superb as a working knife, really good and strong. I'd really recommend it. If you can get hold of one, then do, because it's a superb working tool. The trouble is you can't really get hold of them. They're out of stock at the moment. They come into stock very rarely, and when they do come into stock they sell out incredibly quickly. If you can get a bullnose from GEC, then that's pretty good, because that's ace. But the Mudbug, that's a different beast really. Although it's the same design, the size of it makes it incredibly practical for heavy duty tasks, and the lockback is absolutely crucial for those heavy duty tasks. And the size of it means that it's essentially a fixed blade. You've got a decent sized fixed blade knife in your pocket with the convenience of it actually folding, if that makes sense. One last thing to say, which I nearly forgot, is that the top of the blade, the back of the blade, is slightly smoothed. It's nice and soft there. It's got a beveled edge, so it's not for. You couldn't use it on the back of on a fire rod to get a spark. It's not sharp on the edge there. Is it sharp there? I suppose you could get it there on a ferro rod. Anyway, it's got a nice little curved blade back, which is nice. Okay, that's the end of my review of the Smith Sons Mudbug. I hope you've enjoyed it. The idea was just to show you around it really, and just to chunter on about it. If you've enjoyed it, please do subscribe. I do reviews of knives and EDC gadgets and watches too. So click the subscribe button, that'll be really good, that would help me out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.